Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday. I am just so glad to be back on here. I've missed you guys. It feels like I know it's only been a week since I've done these live coaching calls, but man, it has been a crazy week onboarding everyone for the group. It's been amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to meet them. They are so awesome. Like this group is like just fantastic, and I'm so excited to show you guys their businesses. One of them signed a client literally last night, and yesterday was the first day, so it's been amazing. And Katie's coming on today.
Hi.
She is also one of my amazing one-on-one coaches. And if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, I want to tell you, like, I got spaces. So let's do this. And Katie and I were just coaching together, and we're gonna kind of like pick up where we left off so you guys can kind of see all of that. I feel like my voice got deeper since like literally like 2 seconds ago when we were just coaching.
I know.
Doesn't it feel like
different?
Okay, also hold on, let me turn off my Wi-Fi. Sometimes it like connects to my Wi-Fi, and then I've got like weird, like I can't hear you. Can you say words again? We're gonna hear.
Yes. Can you
Here
hear
we
me
go.
now?
I don't know why. It's like this weird thing I always forget. Okay. But I want you to tell me, how are you feeling? We just started, we were talking about like just kind of like huge shifts for your mindset and your business, and just to like get the people like caught up that are watching this. So essentially, Katie started a Facebook group, which everyone should join. It's Reclaiming Her. It's badass. I will put the link to it in the Facebook group if anyone wants to join. But one of the things that I've noticed is like within that Facebook group, like all these people are joining. You're doing live coaching calls. It's awesome. It is so like serving them. And then there were thoughts like, I don't know, like, is this something I want to even do? Is this something I really like? It's like, should we even message them? And initially we were talking about like messaging, and we kind of got there, but like in a very different way. So we were talking about like how like in a Facebook group or things like that, if you guys are starting Facebook groups as well, it can be like, oh, I just served them. I don't want to push them. I don't want like all these like interesting thoughts can come up. And when you're talking about like talking to people, when you are offering like a Facebook group, a webinar, a podcast, even following you on like Instagram and stuff like that, joining your email list, they want to learn more from you. But if you've got thoughts like, I don't know if this is valuable, and like all these like other thoughts is like, oh, like I'm not sure if people want this, then of course it's going to be really hard. So we got to the place where like people want this. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know a lot of you guys, I'm telling you to start Facebook groups. And it's like, if people are joining, it's consensual. They probably want to learn more. And you've got to come back to like the original reason why you started your business in the first place, instead of like kind of like an unclear and insecure place. But where Katie and I left off is there are things that she's really great about feeling. And I'm tired of talking about it. Like, it's like we were talking about, like, I feel like I'm talking about you in like third person, but it was like, she is able to like feel like safe, free, secure, loved, anchored, expansive, open, aligned. You're able to feel all those feelings so easily.
Yeah. Because it's your nervous system.
Because it's your nervous system. That's literally what you teach people to do, is how to create those feelings.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, we haven't really had that feeling in business. And I know that you were like thinking about working with entrepreneurs. And so I wanted to, if you haven't been able to generate those feelings and create that safety with your nervous system yet, why are we chatting about just entrepreneurs?
Yeah. This is where we left off, and this is such the right question to ask. And also it's 11:11. I'm like
big wish.
Yeah, so I was saying how like I want to teach women how to feel more authentically self-expressed and more free to be themselves and to be like the true version of them, like the youest version of you, like, and in that is like the confident, self-assured person, but it's not confident in business. It's like just confident and authentically expressed as who you are, and like releasing perfectionism and people pleasing and all the stories and all the wounds and all the stuff that holds people back from being who that like light, bright version of them that they want to be. And that's what I want to do, is like help women unveil, like take all the shackles off and like stop and be authentically them. Like that's what keeps coming to my brain, is like authentically you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yes, maybe they want to build a business once they're authentically, and also that's why for me it keeps coming back to healing, because healing is really about becoming whole, and when you're whole you're authentically self-expressed, and that's like my connection with the work.
Mm-hmm.
Is I am a healer.
Okay, so what I just find really interesting is that, like, them being authentically them might be playing big, but it might not be. And I think that, like, sometimes I think the reason that you might have, like, picked entrepreneur, it's like, it's interesting because, like, confident, what were the words that, like, you were like, it's difficult for me to, like, feel confident, successful, proud, and it's also difficult for me to, like, create this in business. What were your thoughts about that decision to do entrepreneurs and, like, talk about playing big?
The playing big thing, I think I have a different understanding of that word than other people. Like, I get that to other people it often means, I just mean like go after
Like
the
big
things
in their
you
life.
want. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like go after what you want. Like if you want to plan a trip to Italy, plan the trip to Italy. If you want to like if if you want to like switch careers, get out of the job you hate. If you want to start a business selling herbs, start a business selling herbs. Like that's what I mean. It doesn't mean like playing big, like big launches, big revenue goals, like that sort of thing. To me, it means be who you came here to be and feel
Right. And so
free
it's
to be
like,
her.
yep.
That's the reclaiming her piece of it.
Uh-huh. It came here to do. So it might be starting a business, but I think that, like, what's been stopping you is you're like, and I think a lot of us do this, like, as entrepreneurs, it's like we go in and we're like, oh, like, this is where I'm going. Let me, like, talk about where I'm going versus where we've been, because it's like it's obviously, like, top of mind where you're going versus what you've already figured out. So what kind of things have you figured out? You said healing, right? We also have talked about, like, it's like
I
you figure
figured out
out,
so much in healing.
right? And so it's like we've got that. It's like, what are the things that you have figured out?
I figured out healing mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. I figured out healing to the extent that healing was never about the physical body, which so many people are stuck on. It's about that like energetic mind body nervous system connection. And that to me, healing is about that feeling of becoming whole and coming home to yourself. And like that is the why I call it reclaiming her. It's like that light, free, joyful, happy, confident, but like bubbling up from inside, not a forced thing. Like who you were when you were a kid, basically. Like that free, expansive, energetic, light-hearted, joyful version of you before
Right.
the world told you to be.
Now, within that, within your business, you said that you weren't quite there yet, but you know how to do it in life, right?
Yeah. Well, yes.
What were you about to say?
Well, I was gonna say, like, we just talked about how, I don't know if this is what you were saying, but like how I don't feel safe when I go to sell and market in business. So in that way, I haven't figured it out.
The piece, like a piece of your business, you haven't figured that out. But like when you're in it, it feels really good, right?
When I'm working with clients, I feel all those things. I love working with clients. It's when I'm not that all the thoughts come up.
Exactly. And so it's like, within that, we want to, like, speak to the people that want this, A, and B, when we wrote your pillars of, like, your business, like, we have confidence,
Yeah.
authenticity, stress, and joy. And I think we might just need to change the words to be
Yeah.
something that you feel like good about presenting. So maybe instead of confident, which of the words that like you like secure,
Mm-hmm.
I think could be a good reframe for it.
I like secure. I love that word.
Yeah. Okay. What about instead of authentic? I feel like you've got that. Do you feel like you've got that? Does
Authentic
that feel
is like, it could be authentic, it could be self-expressed, it could be
you
free.
have a
It just,
line?
what?
Aligned was another word that we had on
Yeah.
here. So maybe it's like just, but I think authentic makes
Yeah.
sense. So it's like they feel out of alignment
Yeah.
with who they want to be. Okay. What about joy?
Maybe
What if
it's
instead of joy, it's like, yeah, go ahead.
freedom.
Yeah. Do you
Oh,
feel like you said that it was safe then free? Do you feel like you can teach people?
mm,
We talked about disarming perfectionism here.
really like safe and secure. And then free and expansive, and then authentic and aligned.
Hold on, I'm writing it down. So it's more like free and expansive.
Yeah.
When you're disarming perfectionism.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we've got stress is like, and I think stress is still a good one because it's like you've got the pattern interrupt, you've got regulating your nervous system. For security, you've got reprogramming your brain. For authenticity, you've got grounding principles. And then, yeah. So I think this makes sense,
Yeah.
and I
The
think,
insecure would be the nervous system, though.
okay, so and then the free and expansive would be
Play, joy, pleasure, principles. Like, I teach those.
okay. Which do you say that's what we have as disarming perfectionism right now?
Hmm. I wish I
Do you
could see
feel
what.
like, oh, here, let me share. And here, I'll just put it in our Slack channel.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. But it's like, this is what I'm seeing. And I'm like, I think that when we made these, it was like we were trying to, you see, it's like, okay, so we got like secure. It's like, but do you see like this powerful, confident joy? It's fascinating that these were the things that like the words that your brain used. And I think they were using those words because you didn't feel like secure, safe, free, loved, anchored, expansive were enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, yes, I would agree. Yep.
And so it's like I think that like look at this confident, like literally like these two words were in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what if it's like I help women create secure lives?
Secure, safe, free, loved, anchored, expansive lives.
Maybe take out a couple words, but like
Lives where they feel safe, safe,
and
or
a
secure
lot.
and expansive.
Perfect. Look at that.
That's so good.
That's so good. So you help women create secure, authentic, and expansive lives.
Oh,
That's you.
so
You.
yeah, that is me.
That's you, right? Okay. So it's like when you're thinking about that, we want to think about the things that you teach to align with that. So it's like
It would also
when we got
be, I help women create secure, authentic, anchored, because to me, anchored is like that nervous system piece.
Okay. I love it. And I'm not sure if the average Joe would understand that.
They wouldn't, but I'm just thinking for me, like,
Okay, yeah. Okay, so maybe it's like the steps are now like if it's like secure. I think it's these same steps, similar steps at least. So it's like, what do you teach them to feel secure?
that is
Is that
that's
is that
them.
where is it? Oh shoot. I think I deleted something that I shouldn't have. That's okay.
Yeah, we can rewrite it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
it was like nervous system. Crap. It was under free and expensive. It's fine. We're gonna figure it out. We'll remember what it was.
Yeah. I know my things. So
Okay, great. Okay, so it's like we've got secure nervous system.
yeah, that's rewiring the nervous system.
What about authentic?
Authentic is,
If you scroll down, it says like, is that the reprogramming your brain, the grounding? I think that's the grounding principles.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then what about?
Which really I would call pleasure principles.
Okay. Do you think that other people would understand that?
Well, yeah, I think people know what pleasure is.
Okay. I think that you might get some creepers.
Oh, that's okay.
I just want to
That's
like, I'm like, I get what you're saying. I'm like, I think that you might get some like people that are like looking at this for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that doesn't work. No, it's like okay.
Does grounding work enough? I was like, is that is it like
gonna get squishy? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Which we just don't love for you.
No. Not the right not the right time.
I was like, I don't know if that is I get what you're saying. I'm just gonna like add it, and I'm gonna, before I screw anything else up, I'm going to just copy and paste this again above here.
You can also call it partner with yourself. That's something I've experimented with calling it as well.
I know, but I think that like that might be also like
Weird.
just a little confusing and unclear for your audience. Okay. Like, I think there are people that are looking for nervous system coaching. If they're looking for nervous system coaching, I'm not sure if they would want to partner with themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now we're changing this to secure. I still have them below.
Yeah.
So they're still down here if you want to look at the old ones. So we've got secure. And I would teach you to do that by rewiring your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk through the PSPR in a second.
This is so
right? Okay, so then authentic, we got the grounding principles. Stress, pattern interrupt. This is where I had regulate the nervous system. So I'm just going to move this up, yeah?
So this is the anchored, what we're doing next?
We had, yes, anchored, but also you said stress before, and I feel like that's a little clearer.
Okay, so these pillars are different than
I'm trying to make them fit with the stuff that we already have, essentially. Does that make sense? So it's like we've got like anchored. What is that?
So that's really,
I feel like it's kind of with secure.
yeah, that's what I just realized. It is.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to move this up here. And then this is where like the stress, I think, comes in. Because I think that's a huge piece of what you do.
Yeah. There's two things we haven't talked about. One is the trauma healing, which goes in one of those places. And then the other one is pattern interrupt.
So we have authenticity as healing your inner child.
Yeah.
It's a part of the grounding principles. And then pattern interrupt for stress.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
So we have expansive as disarming perfectionism?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense.
If you think about like what's keeping them in their box, it's the perfectionism.
Yeah, for sure.
So they
Definitely.
we have like pattern interrupt and reprogramming their brain. They're going to like, I think that what's causing them stress is the old programming.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, this is like, you will take out the old ways of thinking and be safe in your body. Ah, we already had it. It's like, we've been so close, you know? It's like, but the thing is, it's like they're inconsistent with their energy because they're in a constant stress state.
Well, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Exactly. So like they're stressed because they're, oh no. I was like, not the whole thing. I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm like moving this. Hey. It's like, okay, so we've got this. But this has been the issue. It's like they're in a constant state and having consistent energy. So they're going to understand and cause the release.
Thing is, it's all tied, like that's all tied to the nervous system. The
right.
stress, because they're in a survival response, they're in fight or flight. And once they get out of that, they won't be experiencing. So it's like, maybe I can break the nervous system into two parts. Like one is understanding it, and two is actually rewiring it.
So it's like, this is like the healed part. What I'm thinking, like, it's like, this is the healing. This is the understanding.
Yeah, I like that. And healing also allows, I know I keep saying this, but allows them to become whole. Like that's another word that's really important to me, is whole.
Right. But I don't know if people will be looking for a wholeness coach.
They're not. That's a good
But people are looking for someone to teach them how to be less stressed.
Yeah.
People are looking to, and I would say like they might not call it free and expansive. Like if you get them on a call, you can call it free and expansive, but they do know they're perfectionists and the perfectionism is holding them back.
Yeah. And the stress, it could also be people are looking to feel less stressed, and they're looking to feel, when you feel less stressed, you also have more time. So like it's like it creates time freedom for them.
Yes. Cool.
That's
cool.
another
So it's like, so it's like, and I would say that like that goes like maybe with the free expansive, maybe include a time piece in there.
Yeah.
Because like I think that secure stands on its own. That's like the authentic, and I think it's almost like the order you would go in would be like stress, then secure, then authentic, then free.
Yeah.
It almost like actually does have like a chronology. And so I'm just gonna copy and paste this again and just like put it in that order so I don't screw it up. Oh
I
no.
think though that the nervous system has to come first. Like I think secure has to come before the stress, because you can't get out of the response if you're not regulated. This is not possible.
See, but I was thinking that like they don't know, like if they're stressed to go from like, or if they're like dysregulated. I was thinking, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I was thinking that the reason that they are stressed is like they need to get out of stress to be. It's almost like they need to get out of stress to be secure.
I think they need to feel secure to get out of stress.
Okay, you know this the best. So it's like because this is. So you think they need to heal to understand first?
Well, no. I mean, I think they need to understand to heal, but I think this is where the secure and the stress, they're tied together.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Because that's where I'm kind of like, because I feel like if I was in a stressed place, it'd be harder for me to get to a secure place.
Yeah. Right.
But you're saying that the secure, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like it could be either way. Like and you're not doing like you don't have like a.
No, it would definitely be understanding first and then healing. Like you have to understand how the nervous system works, which is the stress.
Okay.
And get out of it. So would be stress and then secure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
It
makes sense because it's understanding and then the healing.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was thinking.
You remove,
because I was like,
yeah, it does make sense.
I think because for me, if I'm trying to go from like it's like I'm gonna teach you how to feel secure, but you're stressed. Like you're gonna be stressed, but you'll be secure in it. I feel like I'd be a little bit confused about like, oh wait, how can I be secure if I'm stressed?
Yeah.
So I think it's like the understanding of like, okay, this is why you're stressed. Yeah. It's like, this is what your nervous system looks like. This is why it's functioning this way. Then being like, okay, now I'm secure. Then I'm this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this is...
And then expansive comes after authentic. Yeah, because once you feel like fully you, then you're free to like create what you want to create in the world.
Yeah.
And that's also, yes. And that's also like, we talked about how, and I'm so like judged on that. Like, all like this secure in the stress is in the survival. It's getting them out of survival. And once you get them out of survival, they go into creation. And most people don't live in creation. Mm-hmm. And that's the authentic expansive. So it's like step one, get regulated, heal the trauma. Step two, create what you want your life to look like. And that's maybe I should
almost feel like reclaiming her.
Yeah. Maybe I should say that. Like step one, get regulated and like get out the past trauma. And then part two is like create from that new space of creation.
Yep. So this is like regulated. This is like out of survival. And then this is, so yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And when you said that's something I'm good at, like that's funny. That's actually the path I followed. Stress, get out of stress, move into security, become more authentic, and then create what you want. And as you know, like I'm a really powerful manifester. So I do know how to do I actually know how to do all four of those things very well.
So instead of teaching something that you don't know, if someone was like, oh my God, I'm feeling so stressed, you're like, I can totally help you with that. Yeah. If someone was feeling like I am so insecure and how to help you with that. If someone was like, I just don't feel like I'm on the right path, I know how to get you to our authentic path. It's like, okay, I'm really wanting to create something, but I just feel stuck.
Mm-hmm. That's so good, Megs.
Is it so good? Okay. So it's like, we literally, like, I want to go through each of these things and then I want to come back to like, because it's like, this is like conceptual, but you need some of the conceptual belief to see how amazing this is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think the problem with their stress is like they're constantly in a stress state. Like, let's clean this up for a second.
Yeah, and the problem is also lack of awareness, right? Like they don't realize that they're living in a state that they're not supposed to be in most of the time. Like everyone has just normalized the state of mind that's totally not okay. It's a survival response of the body.
So I literally think we're just like shifting this. It's like, and we're just adding like, and create, and then we can like get rid of the, okay. So with stress, what is the problem?
The problem is that they
constantly in a stress state,
have no energy, they're burnt out, they're exhausted, they're overwhelmed, they're anxious.
Burnt out, exhausted, anxious,
overwhelmed, and stressed. Well, stressed out. Yeah, that's the problem.
Because they're consistently in a stress state.
Yes.
And I would say that, like, do we want to talk about energy here?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like, strong, stressed, with inconsistent energy.
Yes.
Okay. So and like, I want you to imagine someone coming to the call and being like, oh my gosh, like I am, it's like you're,
you could delete that because that
thinking negatively. Okay, cool. Okay. So then you're going to teach them how to do pattern interrupt and reprogram their brain. Because they're going to understand the nervous system. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they understand. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like this is them getting regulated, right? So, but we can for them, we need to call it something that remember when we did like that mock consult?
Yes.
Okay, so this is like where you want to say to them, it's like right now, the reason why you're in this stress state is because your brain now has a pattern of being stressed. So I'm going to teach you how to release that, identify and release it through this thing called pattern interrupt, which will eventually reprogram your brain and regulate your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so it's like we got pattern interrupt here, but you want to be like, because that's actually pattern interrupt is the tool that we use to reprogram your nervous system in your brain.
Yeah, it's like they go together, the secure and the um this is where it gets like messy for me because it's not as like clean cut. It's not like this thing for this thing. It's like rewiring.
But I was saying, like, if you, when you first were in that stress state, what helped you get out?
Um, Bringing awareness was probably the first thing, which is what we're doing here. So like, this is why, and then the rewiring your nervous system, getting tools. It's like they like feed each other. It's like getting tools to get out of your nervous system comes first, and then rewiring your brain so that you're not constantly, your thoughts aren't constantly putting you back into a fight or flight response.
I think that this actually comes here. I think that the recurring the brain is first, and I think rewiring and regulating your nervous system comes, or this reprogram your brain comes second. Because if we think about like what you really do first is you help them with the body to brain
Yeah,
response.
for sure. But then that's also the secure piece too. But
It
yes,
is, but you have to have that foundation
yeah,
first.
you
You
do.
know, it's like so. It's like so. What do we want to call it? It's like patterning to rewire or regulate. But I like the word regulate nervous system.
Yeah. I mean, the work that I do with my clients is rewire their nervous system, but the process is regulating it.
Okay, so it's like, and then we can say you use a tool. There are many tools, and they're going to learn different tools to rewire it throughout the whole program. But they're going to learn how to regulate their nervous system in this one stress sense by doing what's called pattern interrupt that you have
Got
defined as pattern interrupt, right? So this is where they're going to regulate nervous system, and then they're going to
specific
get out.
stress is what you're
Say it
saying.
again.
Yeah. Like,
Just for
because what, yeah.
like, right? So okay, so we got like this is just for stress. This is like speaking directly to the person that is just feeling stressed, and because of that they are going to be able to what?
The result,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have consistent energy. They're not going to feel burned out. They're not going to feel overwhelmed. They're not going to feel stressed. They're not going to feel
Right.
anxious. They're going to be able to release anxiety, and like ruminating thoughts and overthinking. They're not
Okay,
going
so
to feel like a anymore.
say was last part.
They won't feel like a hamster anymore in a hamster wheel.
Yeah, I was like you will break out of the stress cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And do we want to take them to ease if they're in stress, or do what they so it's like you'll be able to break out of this, and because they know how to get them out of stress and create consistent energy, it's like again, like all these things are like yes, but I'm like, how can we say this in what, because they're going to be able to break out of the stress cycle, they're going to be able to what, like think about when you were just going from stress to less stressed, instead of being like, and then your whole life is great.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do that so often
You
in marketing.
do
Yeah.
that too. Yeah, and so it's like instead of being, it's like you're going to be able to be less stressed, and if they're burnt out, it's like get back into like taking action again. It's like you're just gonna be able to get back to like the first, like it's like instead of going from like zero to like confident and enlightened, it's like we want to be
Yeah.
like, okay, we go from stressed to less stressed and
So
break the cycle.
you'll break out of the stress cycle. You'll release anxiety you'll know how to release anxiety. Um, and you'll begin having access to consistent energy.
I like that.
That's like the most basic thing that will happen.
And create more consistent. Do you see how we're not selling them the moon?
Yes, and we were before.
I think we were selling them the moon. I think we were like, you'll never be stressed ever again. And remember how I was like,
Yeah.
no, it's like, no, it's like, we're gonna like, you're just gonna learn how to break those old belief patterns and you'll be able to get to new ones.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you know, because that just feels more believable.
Yes. That's the problem I have.
Especially where they're at, you know?
Right, because I want to promise them the moon because I know it will do it for them, but they're not believing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about secure?
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Okay, so the problem is they feel insecure, they feel inadequate, they feel not good enough, they feel like something's wrong with them, they feel like, I hear a lot like broken and damaged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they feel like it's just them.
Mm-hmm. Alone.
And they feel like they're alone. That's like a hallmark sign of dysregulated nervous system.
Yeah. Okay. So their fear, and I think this fear of doing things they don't want to do, I think that comes into being free and expansive.
Definitely.
Okay. So then instead of learning how to generate confidence, smaller. They're not going to go from insecure to confident.
They will feel like themselves again.
I feel like it's a little authentic. So it's like when you were going from, when you got out of the stress state and you were like, okay, I'm a little bit less stressed because I know how to regulate my nervous system. Then you realize there was a next layer. You're like, oh, but I'm also still insecure. Even though I'm not like in this like complete burn. You were in dorsal vagal. You were moving back into sympathetic, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when you're thinking about that, it's like this is where you're going from sympathetic to ventral vagal.
Mm-hmm. It's coming home to yourself. That's what really happened for me. It's this feeling of feeling like yourself again. It's feeling it's just being comfortable with who you are.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like we're not gonna go straight to confidence. We're gonna be like, it's like this is more like, this is again like if we literally look at the polyvagal theory, it's like this is literally just going to like grounded, open, like secure, like, you know, it's like that's it's like, so it's like I think this is like I think about like when this is what I want you to start when you're marketing. I want you to start writing to them. It's like you go into a party and instantly your throat closes up.
Yeah.
You look around and you are comparing yourself to all the other people in the room instead of being able to like just like actually enjoy yourself and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to teach you why that happens and how to reprogram your brain so you get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're going to be able to do that, you're actually going to be able to like be present in the little moments of life that have been passing you by.
So good, Megs.
Rewatch that back, you know?
Anna. That was so good. Yeah, and you're right. Like, it's that feeling of self-trust as well. Like when you walk into a room and you feel comfortable in who you are, you don't have the doubt and the insecurity, which is like the worst feeling when you're like weird.
Mm-hmm. It's like I would say that like this. So this is kind of like, okay, you're finally like stressed to the point where it's like you're not stressed to the point of like, it's like I would say that like this, the now where I'm like, where is the difference between secure and authentic?
Secure is Authentic is like fully self-expressed. Secure is feeling like yourself again. Authentic is like being willing to take up space unapologetically, being willing to get loud if that's what you want to do, like being willing to follow your instincts and follow what lights you up just because, without the doubt being there. And secure is like almost relief is how I view it. Like it's like,
yeah,
it's like here I am.
Yeah, it's like
It's coming home to yourself. I hear my clients say that all the time. Like I feel like,
and we can say that. It's just I don't want coming home to yourself to be a pillar.
no, but that's the like
that's the
describe that what coming home to themselves means. Like
yes. So okay, so we've got they're comfortable with who they are, and I would say grounded.
Yes, they're grounded. Yep, and anchored.
Well, it's like we got the grounded prince. It's like and like it's you said relief. I would say like at peace in who they are.
Mm-hmm.
At peace with them.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Do you think people like are like, I want to feel at peace with who I am?
No. Good catch. Okay, it's like it means like they don't feel as alone anymore.
Yeah.
Or it's like I was looking at the problem. It's like they're insecure, feel like something's wrong with them, broken, damaged, feel like they're alone. And so they feel like themselves again, they feel uncomfortable. Maybe something like, since this is the understanding piece a little bit, this is, and I think actually this is more the rewiring your nervous system. That's more this is understanding. And then this is more like this. So you said this is like the piece for the whole thing, right? This is like rewiring your nervous system. This is where they learn how to regulate. It's like their nervous system.
This is where they learn that they actually should feel safe and secure and comfortable and like peaceful all of the time, most of the time. That's where they should be living from, and none of them are living from that place. So this is where they get to feel good for the first time in a very long time.
From that place. Okay, beautiful. And then because they're able to live from that place, then they're going to be present in the little moments that have been passing them by.
Yeah. And they're just going to appreciate life more. Like they're going to be more grateful. They're going to be there in the moments of their life, you know?
Yep. And then it's like, and then you will trust yourself to be able to move toward the life you want. Or is this more aligned? I think this is expression.
Yeah, probably.
Because this is like safety in the moments. This is like expression. Okay. So it's like, because then I think this is like, it's like express yourself in the life that you want, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is way better. I think this is
so good.
Not confidence.
And it's like when you go to, like the other day I went for a hike and I was near a river and the river was so cool, and like I was like so in my head that I like totally missed that I was near the river. And it's like that level of no, you're here. You're like you're present in the world where you are. Your joy, that does give you joy.
Right.
It takes you out of your head. That's what we're doing. We're taking them out of their head.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Like getting out of their head.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So good.
And then they'll be present in the moments. It like that's what I'm thinking. Like instead of present, like instead of joy, like present.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, I think so many people want that. Like, they want to just enjoy their life again. They want to just feel
This one
here.
their head and be present. And again, it's gonna happen in like that's why meditation is so big right now. So it's like now with that, this is like they feel insecure and feel out of alignment for who they want to be. It's like I think this is more like they feel stuck.
Yeah.
And like and they know what they want to express, but they're not sure how to do it.
Yes. They're
But afraid to do it. Without second guessing. I think this is feeling comfortable in their own skin. This is more this. And this is more this. So it's like secure is also aligned.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
I like secure is also aligned.
Say it again.
Secure is aligned. Yeah, you're right.
Right? Okay, so it's like this is where they're aligned. This is where they're expressing.
Yes.
I would say that maybe it's like authentic action.
And authentic is the only place that like play big comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like that's where it is authentic action. It's where they do what they wanted to do.
Exactly. Okay. So then
like
we've got
the run
to do that. They have to. I would say it's like grounding principles, healing their inner child for sure.
Yeah.
And I think this would be like taking aligned it's like aligned action.
Yeah.
So I would have this piece be more about like getting them into action.
Yes.
You know, it's like so what if it's like the grounding principles for aligned action? It's a long thing, but
I like that. Right.
Okay. And then that includes healing their inner child. And that's self-love, compassion, boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then they'll trust themselves to move forward. This is like I think this is where this goes up here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because it's like we built the foundation for them.
Yep. Move toward to the life you want. And then free and expansive. They don't know what they want. They don't. This is where you get disarming perfectionism and like creation.
Exactly. That's what it says below: creativity, play, fun, joy.
Yeah.
Like play, pleasure. Like that's where.
Look at that though. This I think works.
It does work. That's where like so many people get stuck thinking that play is irresponsible. You know, this was the call we had 2 weeks ago. We were talking about how like people think that building a business is supposed to be this like really hard, really intense thing. And you can apply it to your life as well. And when you do the things that bring you joy, you feel different and you get different results.
Yes.
And it regulates, you're in a regulated place when you're in play, which we talked about too, which also allows your brain to like process information a lot faster.
Ma'am, yes. Okay. So I want to come back to what we started this call talking about. And we were talking about how like you don't want people in your group to feel like you're selling to them.
Yeah, but now I do.
Right? Because why?
Because now I'm like I can help all of these people feel less stressed, feel more secure, feel more authentic, and feel expansive so that they're able to create what they want to create in life. And if they're in my world, then I like your thought, like it's possible, or maybe,
yes.
right? Like maybe
right.
They do.
Okay. So, and then if we're thinking about with, sorry, I'm going back a little. If you're thinking about like it's like if you ask them about like this life that they're creating and why they joined the Facebook group, and you're like, you think that by asking them, it would make them feel like they're not supported. You said, I want them to feel like I'm supporting them. And I think that's from that, like we were talking before this call, like about like organic marketing doesn't mean it's one-sided.
Oh, that's so
organic marketing means that you're connected and you're like actually like making an effort. It's a collaboration, it's a relationship, you know? So it's like if you reach out to them and you're like, hey, like, why is there anything I can help you with? Like, why were you looking to like join Reclaiming Her? Do you feel like that would be supportive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like reaching out is supporting them at the level of our connection.
Yeah. That's actually true.
And it's like, what if it's like that's the next level of our relationship? What if you think about it like a relationship instead of thinking about it? And I'll share this with you as well. What if it's like this is
this, the core pillars.
Oh no, I'm on the Facebook thing. Here, I'll show you. But it's like it's like towards the bottom. So I like reposted your pillars there so you could just like remember this and be like, oh, okay, like this actually makes so much more sense. So within that document, okay, so coming back all the way down where sorry, I saw like spell check and I'm like, I will fix that.
Oh.
But it's like they're not entrepreneurs. Can you still give them?
Huh?
Even if they're not entrepreneurs, can you still help them reclaim her?
Like even more so, almost. Yeah.
I can help them even more. Do you see where I'm at? Can help them even more so. And then it's like, well, they're not looking to grow their business.
I don't see where you are, but it's okay. I'll find it later.
Yeah.
Okay. What was this?
You said you're like, they're not looking to grow their business, so I can't help them.
Yeah, but what if they're just looking to feel more safe, secure, expansive, and aligned in their life? What if it has nothing to do with their business?
Yeah.
What if they just want things and they don't know them?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think my brain, the block that we were talking about before is like everybody else is already doing this, like people already know it, but they don't.
Mm-hmm. And so it's like, oh, this makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
Like they definitely don't know how to do this, and that's what you do.
Yeah, and that's
if they knew how to do this, they would have done it already.
Oh, that's such a good thought.
Right? Just like you. It's like with all of us in our business. It's like if we knew how to business, we wouldn't need the support. You know?
Yeah, but LOL, business is really just like personal development boot camp, so you do need the support.
It really is. Oh my God, it really is.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks it isn't, just be ready.
It's like
the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like it really is.
It is. But it's also personal development boot camp. Like if you yeah. So
but you were saying that like they don't want to grow a business, it's like maybe not, and that's I can still help them.
Yeah, I feel really good about that.
Okay. They're just looking to learn about the nervous system.
Maybe they are, and I'll teach them. And maybe they'll be able, you can make it even more expansive, and like maybe they'll be able to tell like one other person and it will change that person's life. So maybe I get to have an impact on like, I love thinking about that. Like maybe I get to have an impact on a ton of people I'll never know.
Yes. And it's like, it's like, I would just want to put good into the world. And like, I know if I put good into the world, it'll come back to me in ways I never imagined.
That's so good.
They're confused about, it's like, I don't know who or what to talk about.
Yeah, but I do. Because I did it. And I help people with it. And I know exactly what to talk about. I think that was coming from the thought, like when I'm talking to entrepreneurs and talking to other people, but now I'm just going to talk more generally, and entrepreneurs will hear what they need to hear as well.
Exactly. And then they're just supportive. They're here to be supportive and be nice.
Yeah. Well, that's
Maybe.
great. And maybe.
But maybe they also, it's like, they might also want to work with me.
Yeah. Who knows?
But me not reaching out is not going to help them.
And that's not coming from that expansive open space. It's coming from closed down, limited, like the energy feels completely different on that thought.
Right?
Yeah. I just need to make sure I'm getting into that headspace of like open, expansive, abundant before I go and market.
And I want to offer to you, it's never going to happen all the time, consistently.
Mm.
And literally going to do a whole post. I'm literally going to do, after we get off, is like, I'm sorry for being creepy. If I was creepy, I go through moments of scarcity, and that's okay. You will too. And we're going to get better. Every time we get better, but it's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm sorry formally for the past, present, and future version of me that might not show up as my best self. But I know at my core, I'm always trying to make you the best version of you.
Mm.
And I love you and appreciate you for sticking with me through all the ups and downs. And still got to be scared sometimes. It's part of being human. And I'm learning how to get better at it. But I'm willing to be scarce and feel like shit in order to help a couple more people.
I love that. So good.
I think this is so, so good. So I will put this in the Facebook group and like, just so that you can see this, like all these like thoughts. But I think this is going to be, I think this is your shift. And I would like for you to go out and just like talk to these 20 people that are in this group. And you guys should all join Katie's group. It's so freaking good. And then we're going to like, just like be like, hey, what do you want to learn? Not like, hey, can you work with me tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, it's like, we're literally just like, hey, love to help you. I'm here if you need me.
That's the message you send people. I love that. That's so detached too. It's like it's like, you know what it is? It's like if you go to like the yoga studio's coming to mind, but if you go to any like place,
yes,
and you would obviously say, if you're, would always be like, hey, how are you? Welcome. Let me know if you need anything. And that's literally what you're saying to do. And my brain's like, that's uncomfortable. And it's literally just because it's online, because I would totally do that in a real life. I would never ignore people in a real life situation.
Right. And so I want, like, yeah. So then when you imagine they came into the yoga studio and you're like, I want you to ask me again and like come up to me and talk to me. I'm not going to welcome you into my space.
Yeah.
This is literally what's happening. It's like I want you to imagine, like, and you've been there when like what if you go to like a store and like you go in and they're like,
yeah.
Versus being like, hey, I'm here. Let me know if you need anything. I got you.
Yeah, it's just like that.
It's just like that.
And like those studios or those stores, when you walk in, like I'm thinking about a studio in LA in particular, I was always like, oh, they're not welcoming. You know, like I don't want to go back.
Yes, Katie. And so you want to be the kind of person that people come back to because it's who you are.
Yeah. Oh, I've never thought about it that way. So you just said that.
Uh-huh.
Like, hey,
welcome.
And
I haven't either. I like this analogy a lot. And brings them, and I would say, so one of the like thoughts that I have in like my long-term plan upward spiral is when people work with me, they feel like they're home. So I have like I said, be the kind of person that welcomes people and brings them home.
Oh, I'm so good at that. That's like my whole brand.
Your whole thing. And so I want you to like think about like they haven't felt like they're home with you because you haven't said, hi, I'm Miss Siltz. How are you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming. Is there anything I can get? Can I get you some water? Can I get you some like nervous help? I would love to, oh my God, say less. If you want some nervous system help, I was like, say less. I got you.
Yes. I don't
You know what I mean?
That's such a shift. Just like
Such a
such a
shift
shift.
for me too. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like the kind of person that like, I want every single person that comes to my Instagram feed to just feel like love. Like just like so just like happy and like love and just feel like they're home. They're like, oh my God, this is what I've been like, this is my place. And the people who are looking for like the like more like standoffish yoga studios and things like that based on like their personal experience and things like that, who don't seek out the fun and the happy and the joy, that's totally fine. And there are people for them. But I'm never going to be that kind of person that's like, come to me, prove yourself to me. Because I've been in a situation where I felt like I needed to prove myself to someone, and that sucked.
Yeah.
And I never want that anyone who comes to my business to feel like they ever have to like come to me and prove themselves for me, you know?
Yeah, that's so
And
good.
you know you've been that person too.
It's so good. I had this thought about our coaching. It was like 2 months ago. I meant to tell you this, but
Yeah.
uh, it was after something I hadn't done the weekly. Like we had built a implementation plan and I hadn't done it. And you were like, Katie, I want you to never, ever feel like you have to prove anything to me. Like, we'll just move it. There's just a reason. We'll just adjust it. And I had this thought afterwards. I was like, coaching with Megan is literally like a giant hug.
Oh, that's what I wanted to feel like. And that's where I think I personally have shifted out, and I'm shifting right back in. I'm like, and just know it's normal. It's normal for us to be like, oh, I saw Louis Vuitton and I feel like that's like the kind of yoga studio I should be creating. And like be like, oh shit, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I should have like people like waiting out like they have people waiting outside the door for them. But I think we're gonna create a our way of people waiting outside the door for
Yeah.
us in the way that feels like a giant hug. And I'm literally writing that down on my like, positivity, that like you were like, coaching with me feels like a giant hug.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want. That's what I want to like give to the world.
It does. It feels like a giant hug. I was like, oh, I wrote it in my notes section of my phone. I meant to tell you, but yeah.
I love you.
I love you. Oh, this is so good. And I want people to feel like coaching with me is a giant hug.
And I think that they do once they get in there.
Yeah.
I think that's the secret for both of us, is like, we need to give them that feeling before they join.
Yeah. And it's hard because there's like this distance that happens with marketing, and then you feel unsafe. And then when you feel unsafe, you don't want to go in with love.
Right. Which is, I think it's because it's scary to be vulnerable sometimes with people that you haven't had that like mutual. And I think that like a level of vulnerability, and I'm sorry, we're going long, but like, I think it's like this level of vulnerability that's like, it's scary to be vulnerable before you get that, like, because we're assuming that they don't want it. But I think it's like that's like, it's that consent. Remember, it's like they've actually joined. They want to be here. They want to be a part. Like, they want a relationship with me in some capacity. I just want to find out what that is, and I'm always going to be open for them for whatever that is. And if people aren't wanting it, it doesn't mean that they've abandoned me, rejected me. Like, it doesn't mean anything about me. I just need to trust that I'm going to show up as my authentic self, reclaimed, and whoever's meant to work with me will.
Yeah. And that thought of like, it's shifting that thought when you go to talk to people to the baseline of they want this versus they want this. Because then when you think they want this, you show up so much safer. Oh, and then when you're authentic, because then you're reclaimed. Oh my God, it's so connected.
It's so connected. It's so fucking good. And I just love you. I think you're the best. And if any, yeah, I feel like it's so complete for today, because like, this is like the shift. I think this week I want to see how many people you talk to this week and just like welcome them home to you and your business.
Oh my God, I love that. And I'm actually so good at that, welcoming people home.
Mm-hmm.
Never
like me too. I'm like, whenever someone goes over, I'm like, what can I get you? I'm like, I made the house perfect for you because I'm so happy for you to be here.
Yeah.
I want to clean. It's like everything is all clean. And I want you to imagine that like, this is like, your business is like an actual like physical business. It almost is like a home. And it's like, I've cleaned up everything that I can. Like, obviously, like, it's life. So there's going to be like maybe some mental like laundry in the like that needs some folding. But like, overall, like, this is a place for you. And even if there is laundry that's out, like, you're still welcome here exactly as you are, because I'm coming exactly as I am.
So good.
You know what I mean? And so just like, I want you to just picture that every time that you reach out to people. And this goes for everybody. I want you to picture like bringing people home.
Yes. Oh, oh my God. Yes.
For
All
the
of
next
that.
like 6 months of their life, they get to be home with
Yes.
you.
That's all I want for people.
And that's all they want to. They want this.
Yes. Oh, this is so good.
This is so good.
Oh my.
I love you. And I really think that this is like such a great shift for both of us. This is why I love coaching other people too, because I'm like, oh, it's a shift for me as well. So I love you. I'll let you know about next week. I'll message the people. If anyone else wants coaching ever, like, you know, I got you. And I love you guys so much. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.